Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Natasha Bray, Success Mastery Coach for women who want to unlock their ultimate up level. And I'm here today with the amazing Jess Keating. Jess has got a lot of strings to her bow. She's an author, an illustrator, and a success coach. We're going to be talking about the incredible shifts that Jess has had in her business recently and her experiences in the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. So first of all, I want to hand you over to Jess to tell you a bit more about who she helps and what she does. Over to you, Jess.
Hi. Thanks so much, Natasha. It is wonderful to see you in person. I've had your voice in my head for months and months now, so it's always nice to see your face too. So I'm Jess Keating, and as Natasha said, I am an author, I'm an illustrator, and I'm a success coach. But my road to getting there was quite varied. I was actually trained as a scientist. First, I was a zoologist. And then from there, I woke up one morning and knew that I was meant to be writing children's books. So that was kind of my very long, winding road. And when it comes to explaining what I do, it can sometimes be quite difficult because I do like to bring in all aspects of science and spirituality and everything under the sun into my work. So in terms of success coaching and transformation coaching, I'm really drawn to helping women, creative entrepreneurs or spiritual entrepreneurs who are looking to embody the version of themselves that they feel is their potential, but they can sense that something is just getting in the way. And my way of doing that is to bring in all of that science and brain science and spirituality all together in kind of a unique little package. And I help people find that best version of themselves and hopefully live their most abundant life.
Amazing. And yeah, a woman after my own heart.
Yeah. No wonder I was drawn to you with the science and the spirit.
It sounds amazing, and obviously much needed work in this world. The more. That are helping women have more success, the better and the bigger the ripple effect of that. So you are actually in your final part of the Ultimate Uplevel Academy.
I know. Don't say it like it's actually, it's kind of weird. It feels like when you're a senior at high school and you're looking back at the hallways and you're seeing all the new people come in and you're like, oh, it's very bittersweet for me.
And you started with intuition and innovation, didn't you?
Yes.
And you're currently on Lead with Love, Healing the Overgiver. And I guess, first of all, what would be really great was, I think coming into the academy, you already had a multi-six-figure business. You're already considered a success in your industry. So what captured your attention really about joining the Ultimate Uplevel?
Like I was going over my notes because I filled up several notebooks for each module, right? And I was kind of looking back, and I think what happened was I ran out of road, and I had been doing things. I can see now very, very clearly that I had been doing things from that masculine state of energy for so long. And I was outwardly, like you say, I was achieving great success. Like I've got all these books behind me. I was writing all these books. I had written, I think, 20 or so for kids by the time that I came to you. And I loved the work I was doing, absolutely loved it. But I could never quite feel like I was stepping into my life and that success, if that makes sense. Like it was kind of, nothing was good enough. Nothing would get me there. And I would almost have this, I'm sure you see it all the time, like I do too. It's that sense of like, well, one more thing, one more achievement, one more book, one more workshop, one more presentation is going, or achievement is going to make it fit and make it like take. And I didn't have that. And for years, I think it was about 2 years, and I can almost track now because my health started to go downhill right at that point where I feel like I can't describe it like I was off course, because of course I'm here. So it was all kind of meant to happen. But I feel like I had exhausted everything that I could achieve with the tools I was using. Like I was using my brain really well. I was using my intuition in its capacity really well, but it was like I kept bumping up against every single invisible wall in terms of embodying it and feeling it, like waking up each day and feeling like, yes, this is my life. I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. And it feels great. It feels expansive. And I mean, some of the key markers, like, like when you start feeling a sense of resentment over the work you love doing, like stuff like that had been happening for a while. So I could just sense that something was off big time. And again, it started kind of quieter. And then by the time I found you, I believe I was at quite an acute state of needing a change. But of course, like when you're in that mode, like you don't know what's you're like, what do I need? Maybe it's more sleep, maybe it's, journaling or whatever. But then I came across I think I found you. We were in another group together and I saw you there and I was just, drawn to your energy and I started exploring that. And as you were talking about the different, the hustler, the overgiver, all of those archetypes, I was like, oh, that sounds resonant to me. And that tends to be my, like, that's how I tend to work, even as hindered as my intuition was from all of the, masculine energy lifestyle that I've been doing for decades. I tend to listen to that voice when it happens. So thankfully I did. And I remember having a conversation with my husband saying like, okay, I've just found this lady online. She seems really lovely. And like, it's an investment. And he was just like, go for it. Like whatever you need to do to get yourself feeling like you're back to you again, just try it, just give it a shot. And I signed up for intuition and innovation. And I remember, it's funny thinking like, oh, I wish I could just start with a hustler. Cause I had a feeling like that was the big angry one. But of course, like, I'm so glad that I took it in the order that it came. Like that was just perfect for me. So yeah, that's my long-winded story of how I got here.
No, it's I think a lot of people will resonate with that. A lot of people have got relatively successful businesses through hustling and working hard and giving it their all, and that's because that's what we're taught. That's what we're taught this is about. And we don't necessarily know that there's a different way, but there's only so long you can do that for before it starts to affect you. Like you mentioned, your health was kind of sound like you fell out of love a bit with what you were doing.
I did. I fell out of love, and I think I could, some part of my spirit or soul, however you want to describe it, recognize like on using this frame of thinking and this frame of energy, you cannot go any further. Like you will just continue to get sicker. And I have this real aversion. As soon as I sense myself tipping into that energy, like you're probably the same way, where you can sense like, oh, I'm starting to get a little hustly right now. As soon as I feel that, I can kind of sense it and pull myself back. But looking back, like I was there for decades, like even like in university and studying science, as a woman in a male dominated field, all of that stuff kind of exacerbated that. And I think I didn't realize that my brain was only one tool that I had to create success. And by the time I came across your work, I started to realize that, I had gone as long as I could, I'd gone as far as I could go without shifting that underlying engine. Like I had no desire. That was the thing. Like, I think I fell out of love with what I was doing because I had no desire to continue doing it that way. I love, exactly. Like I love writing. I love creativity, but I was doing it in a way that wasn't fun. And like, what's the point of making big money if you're not having fun?
Yeah, totally. And I remember when I started to heal this part of me also, my body would literally not physically would work evenings and weekends anymore. Matter, it was just, there was no desire there whatsoever, which was a good thing, of course, and what I needed. So you've been in the academy, I think, some like 4.5 to 5 months now. You come in at the end as a 6-month program, and there's the 4 parts of that. And you started with intuition and innovation, like we mentioned, and I do believe it's divine timing where we do.
I do. Now I do. I can tell it was the hustler in me that was like, just tackle the one thing that you think is relevant. But of course, like, it was all of them.
Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about what happened, when you joined, and what sort of changed in you and in your life and in your business.
Yeah. So before I started intuition and innovation, I would say like, I believed I had a really good connection with my intuition. And I guess what I didn't realize was how clouded it was. That was the thing. Like I knew that I wanted to get into more coaching, for example, ages ago. And it's funny now, like looking back, all of the people who know me in my industry of publishing, it is no surprise that I'm coaching, because I've kind of been tacitly doing it just in my daily life. But I was always, it's taking that step of being like, I do this now, like I'm adding this, that really took, that was the shift that was necessary, and kind of claiming that for myself. So with intuition and innovation, I mean, you say this and it's quite true. Like you notice things immediately, like within the first week, easily you're going to have major like shifts, which was good. But in that first week, I had the like intuitive nudge to launch like a mini course just for like the people in my industry. And I remember thinking like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like I knew I wanted to launch a really big one in the future, but this idea would not go away. It was like, no, just launch this little mini thing, make it, a couple $100 and just like start this ball rolling. So I did it, and I put together this course. Gosh, it was in 2 or 3 days. Like I just, banged out a quick outline and figured out what I was going to do for each module. And I ended up making $5,000 from that, which was fantastic. Like that was the first time out the gate doing this. And then the funny thing was, I would say like 98% of people that joined that smaller course ended up signing up for the bigger course that I launched in authentic visibility. So it was just kind of this, building process that I guess logically it makes sense, but you can't see that stuff when you're in the middle of it. Because all I remember thinking is like, why would my intuition give me more work right now? Why would I want to have another course right now? I'm doing this intuition thing, like just, but it did. And now the really cool thing about intuition and innovation was, again, I started as somebody who was quite in tune, but it just skyrocketed my intuition. And I have experiences now, like it's a direct dialogue with my intuition pretty much all the time. And I learned very early on, I have what I call daily downloads now, where I make time during the day with a notebook, like you suggest. And if I don't do that, I will be kept up at night, because my intuition will just start like pecking little ideas and stuff. And it's like, if you're not going to listen to us during the day, like she requests, then you're going to pay for it. So that happened. And now with that new intuition, not even new, with that new relationship with my intuition, I mean, you can imagine the differences. It's things they don't affect me the way they used to. Like I don't get lost in these kind of spirals of doubt or, self-doubt or worry or anxiety, just because I can tap into that anytime. And the really neat thing to come from this that I was not anticipating was, now I've developed a relationship with energy, which sounds, I get, like as a scientist as well, like it's a little woo, but what can I say? It is what it is. Like I can now sense the energy, not only of people around me, which that was kind of before as well, but I can sense the energy of my own blocks, and I can sense the energy of new ideas coming into me before they get here. So right now, for example, I can tell that in a few days, I'm going to be getting, like, I can sense this idea coming towards me. Right. So it's just like, yeah, it sounds so weird, but it's like, so now I know, whereas before I might've been able to think, to conceptualize, oh, I think an idea is coming, but I would get anxious about it, or be like, well, why isn't it here yet? What do I have to do? Do I need to show up differently? Do I need to whatever? And as a creative, ideas are our currency, right? But now I don't stress about it, because I just have a better relationship with myself and how I work with my intuition, so that there's no stress. It's just like, oh yeah, in a few days, you might want to rest up, because in a few days, something's coming, and like, get your naps in now, because it's on its way. And there's just no level of anxiety about it, or, oh, what if I don't have another idea? I mean, that's a big one in my field, right? Like, what if I can't write another book? And that's just gone. Like, I'm able to exist in the moment for the first time in decades.
Yeah. Just sounds like that trust is there.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So it's sometimes really hard to quantify, isn't it, the kind of change that happens in the Ultimate Uplevel Academy. I often struggle to describe it. But I think from what you said there, it's an enhanced gift you already had, and also unlocked some new ones as well at the same time.
Yeah, very much. It feels like I was able, through this work in the academy, I was able to come back home to myself. And I do believe like we are all incredibly powerful. And I think because I was so ready, like I was a dehydrated person and you offered water, like I was so ready for something, for this experience to kind of go within. And because of that, like the shifts were just bananas, like they were just so big. And it was stuff that I guess you could maybe logically anticipate, but also many things that I like, this energy thing, like being able to just like now suddenly feel energy like spatially around me and be like, oh, there's a block over there. Like that's new to me, but like that's helping me, of course, in my own, field of coaching and helping people identify things, kind of using my own methods and modalities too. So it's really just, catapulted everything that I would have hoped to improve, but also so many things that I had no idea were within me to this level.
Yeah, amazing. And so yeah, you had that, I guess, fast results as
oh yes,
fast results.
First 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know, which is amazing. Which is like, it's not just about the money ROI, of course. There's, you can't put a price on some of these transformations, but you very quickly made your money back that you've invested.
I did.
And then you said you did another launch in the authentic visibility.
Yeah. So that was another one where, I mean, you give us the quiz and we get the little breakdown. And I think the outcast, which is part of authentic visibility, like that's what we're healing there. That was one of my lower ones. So I was kind of thinking like, all right, I'll get to kind of, take the month and just do a little introspection and see how it goes and be open to it. But it like knocked me on my ass, that one. And I didn't realize how much, I mean, how can I put this? I'm a very confident person. Like I love public speaking. I'm very comfortable doing what I do. But when it came to launching my bigger program, I didn't realize, just before I was going into it, doing the work of authentic visibility, I didn't realize how much I was holding myself back. And a big part of that was my program for authors and creatives. It's heavy science, but also heavy spirit. And I realized through authentic visibility, I was like, oh man, I'm kind of hiding a lot of that. Like that, that's for my own momentum in my life, just being this kind of science-driven person. And I realized that I really had to step out of the spiritual closet, so to speak. And a lot of that, through the work that we did, I found was rooted in like preteen experiences with girls, for example. And I put together like the equation in my head was like, so wait a minute, I'm afraid to show up for people that I see as my peers. That was what kind of came out of this conclusion for me. And yet the people that I want to market my course to are my peers. And I was like, like that's bad. So of course, being able to heal that part of myself that was afraid to show up for my fellow authors and creatives, healing that, it changed everything, because I was able to just show up and be like, here's who I am. Here's exactly what I offer. It's like heavy on science, heavy on spirit. And like, if it's good for you, there it is. And doing that with that kind of energy, I was able to have like, this was my first big launch, and I brought in 80K from that launch alone. And it was easy. And like, it sounds so weird. I know that's going to trigger some people, but like, it's good to be triggered, right? Yeah. Like it was so easy because I just started posting about it on my Instagram. I sold, I think 2/3 of that launch just in my DMs, like people being like, oh, send me the link. And then by the time I had an official like email launch, I was almost at capacity. It was ridiculous, but that would not have happened. I know that wouldn't have happened if I had been holding back kind of who I really was.
Well, it was all of you that you brought to that. It was called as the integration of science and spirit. It was fully you. And I think that it felt so just easy and aligned and successful.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. And that's just phenomenal, you know, to have but to have an 80K launch like the next month or 2 months later, whatever it was, is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that was in, because yeah, the mini launch that I did was in intuition innovation, and then the big launch was throughout authentic visibility. And I remember thinking like, oh man, so it actually was kind of great that I had the intuition first and then the visibility, and here I'd been hoping for just like, if I could just grab the hustler, thank you, like a la carte.
And well, seeing as we've gone through them kind of one by one, what
Yeah.
happened? A little bit about how the hustler and healing that changed you.
So the healing the hustler, I mean, it was huge. It's almost like a version of me that I haven't really known since I was like 6. That's how it feels. And that's, as you know, it's incredibly freeing to be able to, like right now, I'm sitting here and I know I'm going to be a 7-figure businesswoman. I know it. And before, I think I had that sense of like, we've talked about this before, like I've known since I was really little that I was meant to be a millionaire and impact a lot of people. I've just known that. But the hustler in me kind of took that inherent knowing and energy and almost used it as a weapon. And it was like, well, how are you going to do it though? What are you going to do? Is it this? Is it this? Like, you're not doing it this second. Like, what's happening here? So the hustler in me just got so running the show. Like the hustler just was running the show so much that even my accomplishments were almost weaponized against me because, oh, well, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. And it was that's not the way to success. Like, as you know, you can't beat yourself up. You can't hate yourself to success. And that hustler was so out of control. And now I have that same inner knowing, but the hustler has just like I'm sure she's still in the car, but she's in the back seat rather than like driving the thing.
Get it. And it's a bit like the 80K launch. Like you don't know how you're going to do it until you actually have done it. It's like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah, and that's really hard for like somebody who's in that masculine energy hustler mode to get your head around. Like, girl, just like sit tight, let inspiration take place and just take action. That's really hard to do because you want to see the whole, like that's the scientist in me too. Like I want the repeatability of the hypothesis, you know, but
yeah, no, amazing. And what would you say, you said your partner was quite supportive, so has he noticed changes in you?
He has. Yeah, I asked him this morning actually, because I said I'm going to be chatting with Natasha, like what's the biggest change? And I think he was like, he said that it was just the confidence. Like I don't, and I mean I've always been confident, but it's not a loud, I think confidence is kind of quiet, you know what I mean? And like insecurity yells and confidence whispers. I think it's that sense now of I can take all of the stuff that I've done in my life that previously I was not internalizing it. I mean, I would publish a book and be like, next. And now I can see the full breadth of who I am. And I think it's amazing, which again, that might trigger people, but like we are meant to think that we're amazing. So I think the thing he's noticed in me most is just things that would normally take me on a bit of a tailspin. They just don't. Like I might verbalize something, you'll be like, oh, I'm feeling like this. And then I just recognize it's just a thought that's not helping me. So it's like, out you go, like, throw that one back.
So almost like, yeah, true confidence then.
Yeah, like to deal with whatever, and like, or, you know, good or bad, or, you know, in terms of building a business, like I know I'll get where I'm going. And normally that alone wouldn't be enough because I would want answers. I would want like, give me the 10 steps rather than like the next thing. And now I'm just as likely to go have a nap and be like, I'll probably get an idea if I have a nap today. And then just, well, you're a big fan of that, you know?
So, magical manifesting naps.
That's right.
Amazing. And I know obviously you're not someone who's new to inner work. So what do you think was different about the academy and the process that you've gone through there?
You know, I think it's the intention for sure, because to enroll in something like this, like, and you make no mistake about this, like it is deep work. and you most definitely throw us in the deep end, as you should. So I think it's the intention of signing on to this experience that alone can elicit a shift in people, because it's almost like yes, I'm showing up for myself. Yes, I'm here. And yes, I have this person to guide me that knows what they're doing. Like, you know what you're doing, and you know the right way to kind of approach this so that people will see results. But it's also, it's going to sound weird, I'm not trying to take the skills away from you, but you give people the ability to help themselves, which is, you know, I've mentioned this to you before. I think like one of the things I love about the Academy is that, like, you're technically a coach, I suppose, but you don't just show people how to become little versions of you, which is a thing sometimes in the coaching industry. Like, not to disparage anybody, but like that, you're not so much about like, here's my strategy and replicate it. You gave me the tools to find who I am and how I want to live my life and how I want to coach people and how I want to create, you know, whatever it is I'm creating. So I think it's your energy of the Academy. That's the difference. It's you, but it's because your energy isn't just about you. It's about helping people become who they are, or step into who they really are and embody that. And I mean, there's also the energy of that supportive group. Like, I've made friends. It's funny, like you start like day one of school, and I remember in intuition and innovation, like making a few friends and being like, okay, like we're brand new here. And now they're super close, you know, business besties. So that's that environment of really, really deep healing. Like, I don't think there's anything more powerful than a group of like women healing together. And that environment alone is just, it's worth its weight in gold. But, you know, in terms of like, it's going to sound so cheesy, but what makes it different is that it's your viewpoint of healing, and your viewpoint of healing that puts us in the driver's seat, that I think is so important. It's not just do this and you'll feel better. It's like handing over the tools, and then for a lifetime, you can use them for whatever comes along.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's quite, I don't know if validating is the right word, but I truly believe in helping people become unique leaders and uniquely successful, not a carbon copy. So
yeah. I mean, it shows, because like and look at even just taking a look at like a cross section of the women in the Academy right now, like we're all so different and we do so many different things with different modalities, but like there's this common core of like women empowering women. And that's just a testament to the people that you draw in. Like, I've been there for, well, almost the full time now, and there hasn't been a single comment or a single time that I've been like, like nothing. It's just such a beautiful, gracious, fully embodied space.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. And obviously you're in you've just started the final part of the Academy now, so there's going to be some more transformation.
Yeah.
And for anyone who is loving your energy and is really drawn to finding out more about you, where can they find out more?
Yeah, so I am at jesskeating.com. I'm on all the platforms. Instagram, I'm Jess Keating Books. Twitter, I am at Jess_Keating, and I'm also on Facebook. If you Google Jess Keating, you'll see my face. That's me. Happy to friend anybody. And yeah, I would love to work with anybody who feels especially drawn to the blend of kind of science and spirit. And if they have a creative flair to them, that's even better.
Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed chatting to you today about this.
You too. Thank you for everything. You've changed my life. Thank you.
That's okay. You're very welcome, Hen. And for anyone watching this thinking, I want to experience some of this magic in the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, we enroll people regularly. So just get in touch and I can share more information with you, or you can click the link below this video. Okay, bye for now.